Welcome here to a very special edition of Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora, where sports meets that thing called life. Happy to be here with you inside the Cafe Kubal studios, and cannot thank Cafe Kubal enough this holiday season. You know, their holiday blend is now available: 3501 James Street, 324 West Water Street, 401 South Salina Street as well, and those are all in Syracuse, as well as 343 Fayette Street in Manlius, New York, on the corner of Route 11 and Taft Road, at Sweetheart Corners in North Syracuse in their drive-thru, and you can order anywhere in the world by going to cafecubal.com. I proudly wear this not only because Witty Wicks and supporting local is important to me, but as Matt Gallagher, my guest here, knows, when it comes to Central and Upstate New York and the state of New York in general, I wear it as a badge of honor and put that heart on my sleeve when it comes to it. So I wear this upstate because it is my way of saying I'm not only proud of these teams in Central and Upstate New York, but I support them day zero, before a ball is snapped, before anything is kicked down the field, all the way to where we are right now in the championship game. So Matt knows this, and you know, he spoils me because supporting upstate New York is a fun thing for me. And then when you build relationships with these coaches and they just keep winning, it gives me an excuse to do a lot of stuff here in the holiday season. So with that being said, Maine-Endwell Spartans head football coach Matt Gallagher is with me, going for another opportunity at a New York State title after winning a sectional title just a little while ago. Mr. Gallagher, how are you?
I'm doing very well. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. How was Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was very good. Um, we were able to get together as a family, which is always nice, and of course, eat a lot of great food. Um, and our goal, is that, that's my personal part of that, and then which is the most important thing to me, my family, and then of course, as um my other family, as I call it, our goal is always to practice on Thanksgiving. So we actually had that opportunity.
Yeah.
Um, and then we went ahead and we were able to put together a pretty good game and come out on top. So we are looking forward to this coming weekend.
Yeah, and looking at what you've done here in the state playoffs, in the regionals, playing up against Homer, beat them 53-8, and in the state semis defeated Batavia 61-20. Just, bring me into this. I mean, I know your team can score points, and I know that getting in the 40s has become a normalcy this season, but to have these last couple games be your highest scoring games of the season, and for them to come in back-to-back games in the state playoffs, just what that says about where the team's at right now and how everybody's clicking, that, looking at these two games, regional and state semi, your team scored a total of 114 points and allowed 28 over 2 weeks.
Oh, wow. Let's hope that pattern continues this weekend. Um, no, and it's just a tribute to the guys and to the coaching staff. The guys that I get a chance to work with every day, if you actually want to call it that, is amazing. They put so much work in, and they treat every kid on our team like they're their own, and it's pretty special to watch. I'm fortunate to be surrounded by guys like that, and I know the kids appreciate that. I know we talk about the kids all the time, but I think sometimes I got to make sure that people know how special the coaching staff is at Maine-Endwell. And I'm blessed to work to be able to be around them every day. So, and then I think the kids see that how much the coaching staff, likes each other, that too. And then I think that really kind of gels as far as us with the kids
Yeah.
with the kids, and then everything kind of comes together when it needs to.
Yeah, and like you said, you talk about your student athletes all the time, you're the kids on this team at Maine-Endwell, but you want to mention the coaches. Let's go a little bit deeper into that and just what you want to say to maybe personalize it a little bit more with those that you have on your staff. This is your opportunity to shout them out. No offense, but or not, I shouldn't say no offense, but this is your time to shout them out. Please understand that when I have an opportunity to talk with them, they will have a rebuttal. So say what you need to say.
No, I mean, like I said, most of them, we've been together for the whole journey. Since, we started this, and, the one thing that I will always be so appreciative of Maine-Endwell is the fact that they allowed me to kind of pick the guys that I was going to, go on this journey with. And I think that in itself was very special because, then, if it works out, great. If it doesn't, well, then that's on me, right? But I was able to choose guys that were like-minded and they had the passion that I had, and the majority of them are still there. And then some left because they had to, but now we're back. So for the most part, we've been all in this together, and right from John Frazier, who's a Maine-Endwell graduate,
Yeah.
played college football and just and is a teacher at the school, and then Dwayne Titus, Maine-Endwell graduate, um, Ben Amaris, Maine-Endwell graduate, and it's
Yeah.
just um, and then also on the staff we have Damian Beers. He's not a Maine-Endwell graduate, but he's blue and gold all the way through now, and and then we have on the some of the guys that help us out. Michael Palmer, he's a Maine-Endwell graduate, and then we look at our JV staff. They've been with us since day one, um, and they're wonderful when it comes to how they work with the kids. Bill Locker and John Josie, and then on our modified staff we have Andy Ewing, Maine-Endwell graduate.
Hmm.
Bill Murtha, Maine-Endwell graduate. Dave Stanton, Maine-Endwell graduate, and then of course we have TJ Serkis, who's been with us for a long time.
Yeah.
And he coaches both football and wrestling for us. So, I mean, all these guys are so, not only entrenched in the program, but they have been in the program, and I think them being Maine-Endwell graduates have really, they have so much pride in the school for great reason. Um, I sometimes I feel like an outsider. I've been I've been teaching here for 30 years, and I'm like, one of the newcomers when it comes to these guys being here their entire lives. So, um, I think it's really special.
So what you're saying to me is, as you went down the line here, there's something about people liking Maine-Endwell because they either stay forever or they go and then come back. What does that say about the culture? You and I have talked about it's not Maine-Endwell football, it's Maine-Endwell. It's the entire school. It's in the classroom, it's on the football field, it's on the courts and the fields of life. It's in so many different places. You always talk about the Maine-Endwell way and the community of it all. So, what is it about Maine-Endwell that you feel like people fall in love and they always find their way back home?
Well, it's and I keep telling people it's just kind of like it's a way of life at Maine-Endwell. It really is, and it's hard to kind of describe it unless you live it. And these guys, the great thing about it is they lived it. They went through school, they lived the whole Maine-Endwell experience, and of course they wanted to come back and be part of it, continue to be part of it. Um, and they are super proud of everything that Maine-Endwell has to offer, for the kids and for the community. And I'm just lucky that I get to be a part of it with these guys, um, and I think that they represent Maine-Endwell the way it's supposed to be, and that's the great thing about it too. They're all great guys.
So, we know there's a college football type of Black Monday. And I guess my question, with so many games that you've won and all the great things that have happened at Maine-Endwell, have you gotten a call yet from Western Michigan or Cincinnati or any of these places? I mean, it's got to be
Yeah.
nice to be in a place like Maine-Endwell where you've put so much in, you've gotten so much out. Because as a coach, and jokes aside, be it high school, be it college, be it pro, being a head coach is a really difficult job, especially in today's microwave society. So when you're just looking at the ticker and you're seeing NFL coaches on Black Monday or coaches in the middle of the season like Matt Rule a few games into the season for Carolina, and you're seeing 5 seconds after it, the cleats are still warm from being on the field and they're firing coaches in college. As a coach, I know that you're living in the high school world, but coaches all over the country deal with this at any level of just we want it now. You've had continued success, but how do you view life as a coach knowing that it's such a beautiful game and it's such a wonderful thing, and then there's this business side to it that can really
Yeah.
make days ugly? And I ask you the question, Matt, because the relationships I build are purposeful, and I had to see a bunch of my friends get their pink slip, get walking papers this week, and it wasn't an easy thing for me.
No, I wouldn't think it would be. And that is the business side of it. I mean, um, you want that loyalty factor, but unfortunately, when it comes to the business side of it, that kind of goes by the wayside, especially in college, and that's, you're there to win. And that's a bummer. So, that's why the college is tough, and obviously the NFL, but high school is perfect as far as you get to build relationships. Um, and hopefully you're building, you're building a little bit more than just football players, right? You're building young men that are going to move on to college and move on. If they, I know, don't go to the pros, but they're going to be moving on to something professional, right?
Yeah.
And going to, hopefully be great, husbands and fathers and things like that. So hopefully we are doing, a little bit of that and sending them on their way once they leave Maine-Endwell.
Did you ever have a thought of coaching outside of high school? Was that ever a thought on your mind?
No, it wasn't. It hasn't been really, to be honest with you. I love teaching, and and I love coaching. So, um, I think at times, I always wondered what it would be like just to coach. That would be your life. But I just never had that opportunity. The only time we have that is the first 2 weeks of of camp during the summer.
Hmm.
It's all football all day long, and then
Yeah.
then school starts, and then then it's kind of school and then practice and football. But I just I'm very comfortable as far as I understand. I just love the whole atmosphere, and I really never had any um, thoughts about moving on. Not that I had any
20,
opportunities either. I never had
it's
any opportunities.
hard to believe. 25-1 in your last 26 games. Thoughts on the road back to the state championship?
Um, last year or this year? This year.
This year, because it included in
Okay.
these, over these last two seasons,
Oh, I
25
see.
and
Okay.
1. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It went fast. It did. It's kind of hard to believe that we're back at this point again. Obviously very grateful for that. Don't take anything for granted, that's for sure. Um, and we're just excited to get this opportunity. Um, and based on how the kids finished up the year last year and then went right to work again after the season and worked their way right straight through the summer and all that. Um, you know, I don't want to say that it doesn't surprise me, but when you work that hard, and I know everyone works hard, but when you work as hard as they do collectively um and at the same time just loving the game of football and then kind of coming together and the chemistry of our team, um, those things are pieces that kind of get you to these certain spots in the year. And we saw these pieces early in the year, and they just kind of got better as far as the talent, and they got closer as far as a team. And like I said, when those two things are clicking, it's tough to be a team like that.
Matt Gallagher here with us inside of the Cafe Kubal studios on Wake Up Call with Dan Tortora as we celebrate Maine-Endwell Spartans heading back to the state title game where they were last season as well. Special teams doesn't get spoken about enough. I try to break down the barriers of not hearing enough about special teams, not hearing enough about the offensive line. And Dante on special teams for you, 56-yard punt return for a touchdown in this game. Just bring me into the importance of special teams, Dante's play, and moments like that, because we don't. It's so weird to me how we talk about offense, we talk about defense, but if your special teams doesn't take care of business, they determine where you start on offense and they determine where your offense against you starts. They literally decide whether or not you have a long or short field on offense. And if the team that you're defending has 40 yards to go or almost an entire field to go. So the importance of special teams seems to be very clear, yet we don't hear it enough. There's no other phase of the game that's called special. And so I find that ironic. So just your thoughts on special teams and Dante, what he did, because punt return for touchdown, coach, you know this. Those are few and far between. There's teams that go multiple seasons without seeing one of those.
Yeah, and it can be a game changer, and it kind of put us on a nice track there to get a little separation, and I think it got us rolling even more. And special teams is a big part. We really have emphasized that, and Coach Freezer and Coach Emery are doing an amazing job with their special teams, and we emphasize it very much so. And for all our returns, we have a goal that we want to get 10 yards, because if we get 10 yards, that's one less first down that the offense has to get. And when we kick off or when we punt, then our goal is not to give them 10 yards, because that's one more first down that they have to get them. So there's a lot of, emphasis on that. And we talk about that each week. And those are the types of things that we make sure that we practice. And we over the past 2 seasons, we really have put a strong emphasis, more so. We always have, but these past 2 seasons more so than anything, that special teams have been a big priority to us, and it has definitely paid off.
When you're putting it all together, and like you said, putting the emphasis on special teams now and doing these things to get to where you are, we know that Maine-Endwell, and you and I have talked about this a lot, has been a contender that people anticipate perennially to be there. The road back to the state title game, you get to go back-to-back years now due to the hard work, effort, and enthusiasm and faith you have in each other in 2021 and in 2022. The road back to the state championship, what was that like in the in-between? Because you've been to multiple state championship games, but there was a moment where you weren't, and now here you are in back-to-back years. So what was the disconnect, and why do you think the team is back making this a yearly thing these last couple of years?
Well, it's tough, to be honest with you, and we have talked about this too. You know, I'll take the blame for it in a roundabout way, because of the fact that I believe that for that stretch of time, we were focusing in on staying at the top rather than focusing on the things that got us there. And when you focus on the things that, if you focus on staying at the top, then you're not necessarily working at the things that got you there. And you need to do those. Those are the fundamentals. Those are the things that you do every day. And so, I think my focus was more staying there, more so than just continually doing the things year in and year out, week in, week out, day in and day out, that got us there. And we sat down as a staff and we talked about that, and it really kind of showed that that's kind of what was going on. And so we adjusted and we adapted, and it has kind of paid off the past couple of years, as far as, okay, let's get back to the basics. We simplified our offense big time. We threw a whole bunch of things out, and then we just go out and do what we do. And we work on the plays that we had early on that got us where we are. And it seems to have kind of worked out for us. And, hopefully that's just going to keep us rolling.
You're seeking as a program at Maine-Endwell for the football team a 7th state title. Just, I know each one in each road to each one is unique in and of itself because of the personnel that you have and situationally things that happen. But there are some things in the background that look similar, right? You're playing Section 1 and you're playing Pleasantville again. You played them last year. You scored 21 unanswered points, won 21-12. So you look at the fact that, yes, this is a different team in certain ways, but there's that background story of, okay, here's Pleasantville again. You have 140 career victories. This is a 7th state title run. I know if I ask you if you think about any of these things, you're going to tell me no. But where do these things lie in the grand scheme of things when you look at your individual record, you look at the history of Maine-Endwell, and you look at the fact that as much as each season in and of itself is its own unique thing, that you're seeing Section 1 again and you're seeing Pleasantville again?
Well, the fact that, to be honest with you, there's some things that probably ultimately before I leave, I would love to, have Maine-Endwell at the top of the list as far as the school itself having the most state titles. Of course, that's that's there, but you can't look at it that way because otherwise you're going to end up being like we were and just looking to stay at the top rather than just continually doing the things to get there, right? So, but that would be something nice just because I think, my love for Maine-Endwell, and if that ever happened, that would be something that would be kind of special for the entire school and the community because of how much they support us.
Yeah.
The fact that we're playing the same team, to be honest with you, things like that don't necessarily surprise me because, good teams are going to end up there again. And, well-coached teams are going to end up there again. Programs are going to end up there again, not just teams, right? Programs are going to end up there again. They have a state title under their belt. This is their 3rd state finals. So that's a program, that's a well coached program. It's a program that obviously has a lot of great things going for it, which is a lot of fun, knowing that you get to play a team like that. That's going to be a class act. That's going to come and they're going to smack you. They're going to play the game the way it's supposed to be. And I think they, just like we respect them, I think they respect us because they know how hard it is to get to where they are. And we know the same. So come Sunday, we're just going to get out there and see what we got.
This Sunday, December 4th, noon Eastern time, you all have a place to be. That is the Dome. And this is going to be the Class B finale for New York State, where we have Section 4 in Maine-Endwell and Section 1 in Pleasantville, a rematch of last year. And Maine-Endwell was able to hoist the trophy. They look to do it again here in 2022. Matt, as always, it is my honor and my pleasure. I am very spoiled to have you here in the community. And I love what you said about the fact of we focused on staying at the top rather than focusing on the things that got us to the top, got us up the mountain. When you, and it's such an amazing thing that you said, because it really fits anything in life that once you're at the top, so many people go, okay, how do I not fall down, instead of remembering how they got all the way up there. So it says a lot about you as a coach and a leader and about your humbleness. And speaking of that and sharing that and taking the onus on you. So, I appreciate everything you do. As I look forward to seeing you on Sunday. And, the blue and gold, I know is going to be represented well. So thank you for all that you do. And, you do the community well. So I really can't put into words enough how much I appreciate that. It's a huge game. I'm excited for it. I'm amped up for it. Just so you know, so you can put this in your pocket, I'll be coming back from Florida just in time to get to that game. So I'm going to leave 80 so I can come hang out in 30 with you. Okay.
All right. That's good. That's good. At least they'll be inside. It'll be warm inside.
Very true. Yeah. Very, very true. Now they have air conditioning when they're not named after an air conditioning company. So thanks for everything, Matt.
All right. I appreciate it. Take care.
You too.